6.5, Day 1, we're looking at properties of logarithms. So we need to remember our exponent rules, some of our exponent properties. When you multiply with like bases, like here, you're going to add the exponents. So if they have the same base, you can add the exponents. So it's 2 plus 4, so this is m to the 6th. When you divide with like bases, you can subtract the exponents. We have x to the 7 over x squared. You could subtract and you get x to the 5th. And when exponents are raised to a power, you multiply the exponents. We have a to the 3rd, b to the 4th, and it's all raised to the 6th power. So you distribute and you multiply that 6 to each exponent. So therefore you get a to the 18th and b to the 24th. So the properties of logarithms are related to that. So if you take a look here, the product property of a log, you have log base b of m times n. When we expand it and we add those logs. So we separate it, we have log base b of m plus log base b of n. So same base, and then we're going to add the exponents. Quotient property, so log base b, and you have m over n. So we're dividing, just like we do with exponents. We're going to subtract those logs when we expand it. Log base b of m minus log base b of n. Notice that m is first and the denominator is second. Order matters because we are subtracting. The last one is the power property. So just like up above, when exponents are raised to power, you multiply. So in order, when we expand, we're going to move that exponent to the front, and then now we multiply to that log. So it becomes n times log base b of m. So when it's raised to a power, we take that and move it to the front, and it's multiplying. Now the thing with properties is that it goes both directions. So yes, while we have this here and we can expand it this way, you're going to see later on that we can condense logs. So if we see that they have the same base and they're adding, we can multiply those numbers together to condense the logarithms. Same thing if you're subtracting. So anything with the negative negative value in front of the log, that is in the denominator. Another way to think about that is that this is really an exponent. So remember, with negative exponents, it moves to the denominator position. So anything with a negative in front is going to be in the denominator. Really important. The last one is the power property. So yes, it can go the other direction as well. So when we have n times log base b of m, we can put it back at the top to make it an exponent to condense like it is here. So important to note that you can go forwards and backwards. It just depends on what we're doing. So going this direction, we're expanding. Now if we go back this direction, that is condensing, making it smaller. We're going to practice our properties of logs to evaluate each log expression. So let's take a look at this. We have a log base 4 of 16 raised to the 3rd power. So the first thing we want to do is we see this 3 up here, and so that means that's going to multiply to the front. So this is 3 times log base 4 of 16. Now, one way to rewrite this is we can evaluate log base 4 of 16. What is that? Or we can think about rewriting 16 so it has the same value as the base. Remember, 16 is the same thing as 4 squared. So let's rewrite this. 3 times log base 4 of 4 to the square. And then if you remember from the previous lesson, we can cancel that out, right? That's just 1. And then it drops down. So we have 3 times 2. And so our answer is just 6. So let's try letter B. Log base 3 of 81 to the negative 3. So again, I'm going to move that exponent to the front, negative 3, times the log base 3 of 81. Log base 3 of 81. Now you can think about evaluating this. Let's do that a different way. So remember, that's 3 to what power equals 81? Well, that is x equals 4. So therefore, log base 3 of 81, that is just 4. And then now we drop down the negative 3 times 4. And so this answer is negative 12. So you have options as to how you want to solve it. So one way I did it was just to rewrite it so it has the same base. And then I cancel it out except for that exponent. Then it drops down, and then I can multiply it. Or I can evaluate what log is, whatever this is here, and then change it. So remember, log base 3 of 81 is 4. And then because of the property, I can multiply them, and the answer is negative 12. For letter C, let's try this one. So again, practicing our properties. These go in the front, so this is 2, and then natural log of e plus 5 natural log of e. Now remember, the base of natural log is e here. We can remember that the natural log and e, they're inverses, they are inverses, so we can cancel them out. So really this is 2 times 1 plus 5 times 1, so 2 plus 5 equals 7. So try these 3 down here. See if you can do the same properties. Now there's already a number in front, so if you're going to multiply, you're going to multiply that number in front, and then try to finish these out. Okay, so there's a little bit more on this one. So when we're subtracting, remember when we put it back together, we are going to condense it. And so let's just look at the work down here. So let's start with D actually. So we have 2 natural log of e to the 6th plus natural log of e to the 5th. So that 6 is going to go to the front, and it's going to multiply to what's already there. The 5 is going to go to the front, multiplying to the natural log of e. Both natural log of e's cancel out, or it becomes 1. So therefore now we have 2 times 6, which is 12, plus 5 times 1, which is 5, and 12 plus 7 is 17. Letter E, using the quotient property of logs. If we have subtraction, we can condense it. So therefore, we can just write 75 over 3. You can't write log of 5 of 75 over log of 5 of 3. That is something different, so you can't do this. Okay, that is not the same, so don't write that. So you condense the logs, putting the numbers together like it is here, and then you can divide that. 75 over 75 over 3 is 25, and then we can rewrite that again. 25 is the same thing as 5 squared, and then this cancels, and the answer is 2. For letter F, so again, we're adding, so that means we're going to multiply the numbers together. So log base 4 of 2 times 32, that is 64. So log base 4 of 64, we can change the 64 to a 3. And then, so if you notice here, it cancels out, and the answer is just 3.